Asset valuation. The goal of financial management in water utilities is to identify how much funds will be needed to meet the level of service goals and maintain the system at or above the identified minimum condition. Forecast when the funds will be needed and use this information to set user fees, other revenues and debt financing. The annual estimate of system maintenance costs is included in the utility's annual business plan and in multi-year asset management plan, along with full accounting of the cash flows and debt financing. Asset valuation is an important financial management tool. It is a common benchmark for making decisions to repair, rehabilitate or replace an asset. Valuation plays an important role in expressing the physical condition of the water and wastewater assets in monetary terms. Asset valuation is crucial for decision makers to be aware of the real or remaining values of the assets, to understand the costs of future asset maintenance, and to make sure there is sufficient funding to maintain the network in the long term. In addition, valuation helps asset managers and general managers of the public utility company to inform the owners, founders, about the effects of current levels of services and management strategies. Public utilities usually keep the value of their assets in the book of fixed assets containing data such as acquisition and construction value, depreciated value, and current net book value of assets. However, the net book value of assets frequently does not represent their real value. As a consequence, the value of depreciation is underestimated. This method artificially decreases the value of the capital and has a negative impact on accuracy of the financial statements. Public utility managers are often reluctant to regular valuation because it increases depreciation costs. Despite that fact, PUCs should keep the value of their assets based on the fair value method and not on net book value. Historic depreciation and net book value has little relevance for assets with a long life cycle. That is, the real value of assets needs to be periodically reevaluated. Revaluation if assets makes accounting data more accurate and economically real. Knowing the fair value contributes to evidence-based informed decisions. This slide shows the spiral of inefficiency caused by under-evaluation of the assets. Undervaluation artificially diminishes costs. Low depreciation leads to unrealistic financial forecasts, and thus lower tariffs are adopted. If the tariffs are too low, capital budget of the public utility is decreased, which means less money for investments. Because there are less investments, the life cycle of an asset gets shorter. They deteriorate over time and affect service quality. Naturally, customers get disappointed by the low quality of services and stop paying bills. The public utility company becomes dependent on the founder, but they are not able to cover the loss anymore. The company is thrown into insolvency. Competent and skilled staff leave the company. There is less and less motivation. Infrastructure assets further deteriorate. And so the spiral of inefficiency continues until the total collapse of the system. Two most frequently used valuation methods are the cost method and the market value method. The cost method is very simple. It means that valuation of assets is made on the basis of the price of the asset on the day it was purchased. The market value method means that valuation is done on the basis of market price of assets. But if the same type of asset is not available on the market, it is very difficult to determine the value of such asset. There are two additional methods available. The replacement value method is based on the estimation of the asset's current value. In other words, if the same asset was to be purchased on the day of valuation, how much would it cost? Standard cost method means the valuation is done based on experience, as presented in the balance sheet. According to the international accounting standards, the valuation of land and real estate is done by certified appraisers or court expert witnesses. In the process of asset, plant and equipment valuation, such a standard is not applied. Asset valuation may be done by any competent professional familiar with the assets, their function and environment, with sufficient knowledge. They just have to be experienced professionals. The best option is to have an interdisciplinary team made up of economists, lawyers, civil and hydro engineers. Evaluators must understand the functioning of the assets, materials, alternatives and technologies of operation in water supply and wastewater disposal systems. They need to have all legal and technical information on assets at their disposal. It is not mandatory to perform asset valuation every year. Frequency of asset valuation depends on macroeconomic situation in each country and on market situation and on the public utility company itself. Therefore, it is advised that the public utility company defines the criteria and timelines for asset valuation in the rule book on accounting. Usually, it is done every 5 years. In some countries with long tradition in asset management, valuation of assets is routinely performed each year. However, in those countries the process of valuation is less complex because they have well-developed and accurate asset database, registers, asset classification and officially adopted assessment methodologies.